I am Parmenion, the son of Macedonia, born in the time when our kingdom was a small and fractured realm, overshadowed by the mighty powers of Persia and Athens. My early years were spent in a modest household, in the shadow of the rugged hills and fertile plains of Macedon. My father, though not of noble birth, instilled in me a sense of duty and loyalty to the land of my birth. As a boy, I was captivated by the tales of Homer, the epic struggles of gods and men, and the vision of a united Greece that always seemed out of reach. I was not born to privilege, but in Macedonia, a land of warriors, there was always a path for those willing to wield a spear and follow orders. My education was not one of philosophy or art, but of warfare and discipline. From a young age, I trained in the ways of the phalanx, the spear wall that was the pride of Macedonian warfare. I learned to fight as part of a unit, to trust the man beside me, and to understand that victory came not from individual strength, but from collective effort. My rise began under Philip II, a man of vision and relentless ambition who sought to transform Macedonia from a peripheral kingdom into the dominant power of Greece. Philip was not just a king, but a reformer, and he saw potential in men like me, steady, disciplined, and capable of leading others. I proved myself in the campaigns against the Illyrians, where Philip's new army, with its long spears and tight formations, crushed enemies who had long plagued our borders. It was during these battles that I earned my first command, leading a detachment of infantry with such precision that Philip himself commended me. Over time, I became one of Philip's most trusted generals. I was there at Carinthia, where we faced the combined forces of Athens and Thebes. Philip, always the strategist, placed me on the left flank while he and his son Alexander commanded the right. When the Theban sacred band charged, it was my men who held firm, giving Alexander the opening to break through and claim victory. I was proud of Alexander that day, though he was still a boy in my eyes. I saw the fire in him, the ambition that burned brighter than even his father's. Philip's assassination in 336 BCE was a shock to all of us. The court was plunged into chaos, with factions vying for power and whispers of conspiracies. I, however, remained steadfast. My loyalty transferred to Alexander, though he was young and untested as a ruler. Many doubted him. Some of the older generals resented his brashness, his refusal to follow the traditions that had guided us under Philip. But I saw in Alexander a force of nature, a man destined for greatness. My role was clear: to guide him, to temper his ambition with my experience, and to ensure the army remained loyal during this delicate transition. Alexander wasted no time asserting his authority. He crushed revolts in Thrace and Thebes with a ruthlessness that shocked even me. When he razed Thebes to the ground, sparing only its temples, I realized that he was not merely following in his father's footsteps. He was blazing his own path. When Alexander declared his intention to invade Persia, I was both excited and apprehensive. The Persian Empire was vast and powerful, its armies numbering in the hundreds of thousands. Yet I believed in Alexander's vision. In 334 BCE, we crossed the Hellespont into Asia. At the Battle of Granicus, I commanded part of the Macedonian infantry, holding the line against the Persian cavalry, while Alexander led his companions in a daring charge. The victory was swift, and it set the tone for the campaign. At Issus, I saw the true genius of Alexander's leadership. Outnumbered and trapped between the mountains and the sea, he turned the terrain to his advantage, routing the forces of Darius III and capturing his family. My role was to anchor the phalanx, ensuring that our center held firm against the Persian onslaught. It was grueling work, but the discipline of our men, honed by years of training, won the day. As the campaign progressed, the strain on the army and on me grew. Alexander pushed us further into the heart of Persia, always seeking the next victory, the next conquest. His ambition was boundless, and while I admired it, I also began to see its darker side. We clashed, not on the battlefield, but in council. I advised caution, urging him to consolidate his gains and secure the loyalty of his new subjects. Alexander, however, was impatient. He dismissed my concerns, accusing me of lacking vision. The rift between us widened after the Battle of Gaugamela, where we shattered the Persian army and Darius fled into the wilderness. Alexander declared himself the king of Persia, adopting Persian customs and dress. Many of us, veterans of the old Macedonian ways, struggled to accept this change. By the time we reached Bactria, my relationship with Alexander was irreparably strained. He had grown paranoid, seeing betrayal in every shadow. The execution of Philotas, my son, was the final blow. Alexander accused him of conspiring against his life, a charge I did not believe. I pleaded for mercy, but Alexander would not relent. After Philotas was executed, Alexander turned his gaze toward me. I was accused of complicity, though I had served him faithfully for years. I knew then that my time was at an end. They came for me in the night, soldiers who had once marched under my command. I met my fate with the dignity of a Macedonian, knowing that I had given everything for my king and my country. I am Parmenion, a general of Macedonia, a servant of two kings, and a man who dedicated his life to the unity and greatness of my homeland. Though my life ended in betrayal, I do not regret my service. I fought for a vision greater than myself, and I played my part in shaping an empire that would be remembered for millennia. Alexander's glory may have eclipsed my own, but I was the foundation upon which he built his empire. My name may not be sung in the same breath as his, but those who know history will understand that without Parmenion, there could have been no Alexander.